शङ्करांशभूम शङ्करार्यपीठसद्गुरुन् शुद्धसत्त्वभासुरान् सुवर्त्मनीतभूसुरान् सर्वभूतसौख्यदान् क्षमाकरान् यतीश्वरान्.
श्रीमतां देशिकेन्द्राणां पादपद्मे नमाम्यहम्. मन्दोऽपि वन्दनाद्येषां विन्देत गुरुतुल्यता. श्रीगुरुचरणद्वन्द्वं वन्देऽहं मतितदुस्सहद्वन्द्वम्. भ्रान्तिग्रहोपशान्तिं पांसुमयं यस्य भसितमातनुते. So we have been looking at the concept of pramana. What can be a pramana? How it can be? That discussion is going on. So in the 48th shloka that we completed last time, idanim drishtanta pradarshanena atmavabodham prati vedasyaiva pramanam na anyasya iti sadhayati. With the help of an analogy, the acharya is establishing that Veda alone can be a pramanam in the case of attaining the direct realization of the Atman. So the analogy given is the eye, organ eye being the pramanam, sole pramanam for cognizing or perceiving colors or forms. Rupanam avaloke chakshuriva anyatra karanam drishtam tadvate adrishtavagato vedavate anyona vedako hetuhu. Rupanam avaloke chakshuriva anyatra na anyatra karanam anyate na karanam drishtam. Okay. So just like the eye is the sole pramana for cognizing the colors and forms, there is no other pramana than the Veda to cognize the Atman, which is no different from Brahman. So moving on to the 49th shloka, Nano nigamanam yatha swatah pramanyam tatha tantranam api astu iti ashankayam aha. The question is, just like the Vedas are pramanas by themselves, they don't require any other confirmation, or they don't require any other power to make them pramana. They are pramana by themselves. In the same way, why can't the words of the Acharya be a pramana by themselves? Why should they depend on something else, like the Veda or something like that? So the Tantra, the word Tantra is a technical word, paribhashika shabda, for which a passage is cited from some text in the comment. Nigameshu nishitartham tantreshu kashchidapi prakashayati tadidam anuvadamatram pramanyam tasya siddhyati na kinchite. So the Acharya is giving a reply to that question. The Acharya's words, the words of the Guru, the preceptor, they do constitute a pramana, but those words also are sourced, that pramana or that the teaching also is sourced from the Veda itself. So the Guru is not giving something of his own. He is basing his teaching on the Veda itself. So the words of the Guru, they are no doubt pramana, but then they are based on the Veda pramana. That way, the words of the Guru will not become the primary pramana. They will only be alluding to the Vedic words. So that's the idea. In fact, we have in the Mundakopanishad, for example, it very clearly says that tadvijnanartham sa gurumeva abhigachyate samitpanihi shrotriyam brahmanishtam. So the Acharya to whom the aspirant goes for this Atmajnanam is a Shrotriya. That is, he is very well versed in the Vedic teachings. And based on that only, he will be teaching the aspirants who come to him. So he will not be giving something of his own. Whatever he has attained as Anubhava, that also is based on the Veda only. So he will be teaching based on the Veda only. Whatever words or analogies and all that he is using in teaching, they are only secondary pramana. They are based on the primary pramana, which is the Veda. That is what is stated in this shloka. Nigameshu nishitartham tantreshu kashchidapi prakashayati. What is determined in the Veda, Nikama is Veda, that alone is expounded by the Acharya in his text or in his discourse. Tadidam anuvadamatram. So what the Acharya says is not primary pramana. It is only alluding to the primary pramana, which is Veda. Pramanyam ayam tasya siddhyati na kinchate. So it is only anuvada. It is not any separate or pramana by itself. That is the shloka. So the commentary says, Nigameshu Vedeshu Visitartham Pramani Kratartham Kashid Acharyaha Tantreshu. For the word Tantra, the commentator is quoting a passage. Sakruducharitatve sati Bhagavat bodhakatvam tantram iti jnayat. So, but when something has been said once, that is capable of conveying many meanings, many senses, shades of meaning. So that is called tantram. But tantram is a paribhashik shabda. It's a technical word. Shastreshu prakashayati pradipadayati tadidam tat pradipadanam anuvadamatram uktasyeva arthasya prashamsa vachanam anuvadaha avadharitaha. So for the word anuvada also there is a definition. The commentator is quoting that definition here from some text. Uktasyeva arthasya prashamsa vachanam anuvadaha. So what has been stated already, when that is being restated, rephrased in the manner of praising it, that is called anvada. That is what is that also has the function of reiterating. So that rephrasing, reiterating, all that is what is happening in the anvada. Anvada is not simply translating. That is a common meaning that we get in other languages. But here in Sanskrit, anvada means it is something different. That is, it is rephrasing or restating something which has been stated elsewhere. Ityuktatvat anvadasya pramanyam na kinchite. So anvada does not become a pramana by itself. Anvada is only restating of something which has been already stated somewhere else. That is why in we get a very nice instance for understanding the concept of anvada. In the Mundaka mantra Dvasuparna, where the tree imagery is used to convey that in a body, Jivatma and Paramatma both are there, and the Jivatma is the one who is experiencing or tasting the karma phalam, whereas the Paramatma is only a sakshi to it. So in that case, what Advaitins hold is there are no two entities there in the body. There is only one entity, and that entity which is considering itself or taking itself to be the karta bhokta, that is because of ajnana. It is pure consciousness only, in truth, the ever-free Brahman in truth. But due to adhyasa, it is appearing as though it is jiva, karta bhokta, experience the karma phala. And there, when the other schools say that, look, in this Mundaka, it is very clearly stated that there are two things and there are two different entities altogether, Jivatma and Paramatma. How do you say that you don't have any locus at all, or you don't have any occasion to bring your Advaita and all that here? So for that, the Advaitin stand is that the statement of two there is only an anvada of what is seen in the world. So in Ajnana, in the domain of Ajnana, there are, we also accept that there is a Jivatma and a Paramatma, two different ones are there, and the Jivatma has to get the blessings of the Paramatma to get moksha and all that we also agree. So what is stated in the Upanishad is not a pramana by itself. It is only an anuvada of what is there in the Ajnana domain. So that's how we say that. So that is a good instance for understanding what is the understanding the concept of anuvada. So here in this loka, in the commentary also, the Acharya says, Nigamayeshu Vedeshu Nishitartham, what has been clearly determined in the Veda by reasoning and all that, Pramanikritartham, that is what is Pramana. The Veda establishes that as Pramana. Any teaching, the Veda establishes that as pramana. Kasit acharyaha, an acharya will incorporate that in his teachings. Kasit acharyaha tantreshu shastreshu prakashayati. So he incorporates that in his text and he expounds that. Pratipadayati tadidam tat pratipadanam anuvadana matram. So that establishing that is only alluding to it and not an original pramana. So the Acharya is not creating a pramana, he is only restating a pramana which is already there in the Veda. Uktasyeva arthasya prashamsa vachanam anuvadaha avadharitaha ityuktatvat anuvadasya pramanyam nachite. So anvada cannot be a pramana by itself. Na kimapi pramanatvam ityartaha. So the anvada cannot be pramana by itself. It can never be primary pramana at all. Nigameshu nishchitartham tantreshu kaschidapi prakashayati tadidam anuvadamatram pramanyam tasya siddhyati na kinchite. Now going on to the next shloka, that is the 50th shloka number 50. The Acharya introduces this shloka by saying, Vedaha pramanamityuktam tasya amshadvayam tat karyam cha idanim dashayati. So what has been stated as Veda being the pramana, there are two aspects in that Vedic pramana, and those two aspects and their effects are being stated in this shloka. Amshadvayavati nigame sadhayati dvaitam eka eva amshaha advaitameva vastu pratipadayati prasiddham aparo amshaha. So amshadvayavati nigame is Veda. There are two aspects in the Veda. Sadhayati Dvaitam Ekaha Eva Amshaha. So one Amsha, one part of the Veda, it establishes Dvaitam. Advaitameva Vastu Pratipadayati Prasiddham Aparo Amshaha. The other part of the Veda establishes Advaita alone. In the commentary, the Acharya says, Amshadvayavati Bhagadvaya Yukte Nigame Vede Eko Amshaha Prathamo Bhagaha Dvaitam Sadhayati Bhedam Pratipadayati. So it is very nicely being stated in this commentary. We all are very familiar with the Karma Kanda and the Jnana Kanda being the two kandas of the Veda. Of course, Upasana Kanda is there, but then it can be taken into the Karma Kanda itself. So here, by taking the Karma Kanda to be the earlier part and the first former part and the Jnana Kanda to be the latter part, we have the Karma Kanda, which is all about Dvaita only, whereas the Jnana Kanda is having Advaita as its purpose, supreme purpose. So here, some questions will arise on that, and those will be taken up in the subsequent shlokas. So, Amshadvayavti Bhagadvayayukte Nigame Vede Eko Amshaha Prathamo Bhagaha. One part, that is the first part, one aspect, that is the first part of the Veda, that is the Karma Kanda. Dvaitam Sadhayati. It establishes Dvaita only. In fact, what it says is the jivas who are considering themselves as finite entities, and the jivas who already have the idea of duality, which has not been taught to them by anyone. It's a direct product of the ignorance. That the duality that the jivas take for granted is only a product of ignorance. So nobody has to establish that. But then the Veda gives it a very fine shape, and that duality itself, it is explaining in a very, very orderly manner, and helping the jiva to first take that karma kanda as pramana and get benefit out of it, which is nothing but getting the preparation for attaining the Advaita Jnana in the Jnana Kanda. So all these are there implied here. So Vedam Pratipadayati. So what the Jnana Karma Kanda does it establishes Veda. What kind of Veda? Jivas are different from each other, and Jivas are different from Ishvara, and Jivas have karmas for themselves, and other Jivas, each Jiva has karmas for himself, and other Jivas have karma for himself. So that way, there is no mixture. There is no abheda here. So that Veda is being very repeatedly, very clearly being shown by the Karma Kanda. So when one sees that, one will get a feeling that how indeed will the Veda be teaching Advaita, Abheda? It is so clearly establishing Advaita. How can it ever talk about Advaita at all? So such questions are there. They are all answered by Shankaracharya very deftly in the Brahma Sutra Bhasha, etc. So here, so there also that the Veda that the Vedas are establishing are only Anuvada of the samsaric Veda, natural Veda, that is ignorance-based Veda, which is untaught Veda of the Jivas. That alone is being restated, rephrased, and in a very, very polished manner in the Karma Kanda. So we get a good example for Anuvada here also, Pratipadayati. Then Kartru Karma Phaladi Rupam Vedam. So what is that Veda? That Veda is consisting of Kartru Karma Phala. So these are all distinct. Karta is distinct from Karma, what he is going to do or what he does. And the Phala is distinct from the Karta and the Karma also. That is the third one. That is the fruit of the karma. So the Karta the Jiva considers himself to be a doer of some action which will result in some fruit. So this Veda is there. Whereas in Advaita, there is no Karta at all, there is no Karma at all, there is no Phalam at all. Because there is only one Atman, that is Brahman, without any second of any nature. And that Atman, Brahman, doesn't have a body and all that. So no duality is ever possible there. But then in Dvaita, all this is possible. And Karma Kanda is all about this one. Advaitameva Vastu Brahmaswarupam Sarvabheda Rahitam Aparo Amshaha Upanishad Bhagaha Pratipadayati. So the other part of the Veda, that is the latter part of establishes Advaita alone, Brahmaswarupam Sarvabheda Rahitam. It is devoid of all kinds of Veda. That is when we talk of Veda, we have to remember the three types of Veda, Sajatiya Veda, Vijatiya Veda, and Swagata Veda. So Sajatiya Veda is two things of the same species, a tree and another tree, a mango tree and a tamarind tree, for example. So these are two trees different from each other, no doubt, but belonging to the same species, Sajatiya Veda, same jati. Vijatiya means there is a tree and there's a boulder. So a tree is of a different species altogether, whereas the boulder is of a different species altogether. So that is called Vijatiya Veda. Swagata Veda is the tree itself, one unit called the tree itself, having so many distinct parts. A branch is not root, a flower is not leaf. So that way, the one tree itself has got multiple parts, distinct parts, which are totally distinct from each other. So that is called Swagata Veda. Brahman does not have any kind of these Vedas. Sajati Veda is not there at all because there is no second Brahman. And then Vijatiya Veda is also not possible because there is nothing other than Brahman at all. And then Swagata Veda is also not possible because Brahman is not made of any parts. So that kind of Brahman is being taught in the second part, that is the latter part of the Veda. Prasiddham Sarvanubhava Gocharam iti Vastu Visheshanam. In the shloka, Advaitameva Vastu Pratipadayati Prasiddham Aparo Amshaha. So the word Prasiddham is being explained here in the commentary. Sarvanubhava Gocharam iti Vastu Visheshanam. So the Vastu is given the adjective or Prasiddham because this Advaita Vastu is something which is very, very popularly known. That is here, Sarvanubhava Gocharam is, here it is, the Anubhava, it is in everybody's Anubhava, that is the Advaitam, which is already in everybody's Anubhava, that alone is being brought out, elucidated, revealed by the Veda. So everybody is Advaita Swarupa only. That is why the Avasthatara Viveka is used to help the aspirant appreciate his own Advaita Swarupa. So many such prakriyas are there. So this Advaita is very, very popular and especially the deep sleep analogy also is analysis of deep sleep also is very useful to teach the Advaitic purport of the Advaitic nature of the jiva. Because in deep sleep there is no Dvaita at all, no experience of any Dvaita, but the jiva realizes upon waking that he alone was without any Dvaita, and even his identities of the waking are absent in the deep sleep. So these are all the ways in which the deep sleep is analyzed to teach that the jiva is himself the Advaita Swarupa. In the next shloka, the Acharya introduces it. Tatra Dvaitadvaitayoho Pramanabhuta Veda Pratipadyatvat Kasya Satyatvam Kasya Asatyatvam iti Ashankaya Maha. So in the previous shloka, it was stated that the Dvaitam and Advaitam both are taught by the Veda itself. So the question arises, when both are taught by the Veda is Pramana. So why can't we hold that both are real? That is, Dvaita is also Satyam, Advaita also is Satyam. Why can't we view this way? For that, the reply is given in this shloka. Advaitameva Satyam Tasmin Dvaitam Na Satyam Adhyastam Rajatamiva Shuktikayam Bhargatrashnayam Iva Utakaspuranam. So with two popular analogies, the Acharya is now replying or clarifying to the questioner that Advaita alone is real. In that Advaita, the Dvaita, which is not real, is superimposed. So when the moment superimposition is spoken of, naturally analogies will have to be given. And the analogy of silver, shell silver and mirage water, these are given. Rajatameva Shuktikayam. Shuktika is the shell. So just like silver is superimposed in the shell, in other words, the shell is wrongly taken to be a piece of silver. And Mrigatrishnika, Mrigatrishna is the mirage phenomenon. So when there is no water at all there in a particular spot, a person thinks there is water. And when he goes near, he realizes that it is only a mirage phenomenon and no water is really there. So these two analogies are given in Advaita for the concept of superimposition. Advaitameva Satyam. Yad Advaitam Vastu Brahmaswarupam Tadeva Satyam Tasmin Advaite Dvaita Prapancha Rupam Asatyam Mithya Bhutam Adhyastam Aropitam. So very, very clear. Advaitam alone is real, in that Advaitam, which is Brahma Swarupam, and that alone is real, Satyam, Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya, then Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, Brahman alone is Satyam. In that Brahman, Tasmin Advaita Brahman, Dvaita Prapancha Rupam Asatyam. So Dvaita is of the form of the world. So the world is the Dvaita. All Dvaita is there in the world. In the sense, it is having Sugata Veda and all that. Within world, so many differentiations are there. And naturally, world is something second to the Advaitam, which is Satyam. But then that second cannot make the Advaitam Brahman Sadvitiya, because that's why in the sloka itself it is being clarified. It is only superimposed. It is not real, it is superimposed. So superimposed snake cannot be counted as second apart from the rope, which is the substratum. So that is the idea. So Dvaita Prapancha Rupam Asatyam Mithya Bhutam, it is unreal. Adhyarobam Adhyastam Aropitam. Adhyastam means it is Aropitam, that is, it is superimposed. Tata Drishtantaha. The analogy is two analogies are given here. Yatha Shuktikayam Rajatam Raupyam Bragadrashnayam Marichikayam Cha Udakaspuranam Udakabhanam Tadvadi Tirtaha. So the two analogies are very clear to us also. It is very familiar to us. Now another question is being raised. Nano Vaiparityameva Kutono Bhavati Dvaite Advaita Aropaha Ityakakshayam aha. So the question is posed. Why should you say that the Dvaitam is superimposed in Advaitam? Why can't you hold it the other way? Why can't you say that the Dvaitam is there, which is real, in which Advaita is superimposed? Why can't it be that way? So for that question is being addressed here in this sloka. Aropitam yadi syat advaitam vastu avastuvini dvaite advaitam vastu avastuni dvaite yuktam naiva syat satye adhyaso bhavati asatyanam. So the answer is very simple. Aropitam, if Advaitam is the one which is superimposed in Dvaita, which is avastu, which is not there at all really, Advaita which is real, then that is, if you say that is superimposed in Dvaita, which is not real and it is not there really, it doesn't exist also really, naiva yuktam tada. So it is not reasonable. It is not according to logic. Tada syat satye adhyaso bhavati asatyanam. So the satye adhyaso bhavati asatyanam, because the normal rule is the adhyasa of unreal alone happens in a substratum which is real. So when there is the moment you speak of, that's why in the question also he says that in why can't you say that in Advaita Advaita is aropita. When the moment you say aropita, that aropita vastu is unreal even according to you. So we cannot say that the aropita, which is satyam, it cannot be deemed to be asatyam, because advaitam is satyam. It cannot be. If you say that it is aropita, you will have to hold it asatyam. So that is not proper. That is the idea. Aropitam adhyastam yadi chet advaitam vastu satyasvarupam dvaite asatye tada tasmin pakshe yuktam na syat. So if advaita is the aropitam, then the situation will be like in asatya, something satya is superimposed. Vastu abhavati vastu abhavat satye adhyaso vastu swarupe aropo asatyanam bhavati. Then the situation will be like in what is not there really, there something which is really there will have to be deemed taken to be superimposed. So, but everybody knows that what is superimposed is not real. But in this case, what you are saying, in this case, the opposite will happen and it cannot be logical at all. So that kind of situation cannot be accepted at all. Tasya vastu rupatvad ityartha. Because Advaita is aropitam. If you say Advaita is aropitam, then you will have to hold it as unreal. But then such is not the case. That alone is real. So there cannot be a case where Advaita is the substratum and Advaita is the superimposed. That situation cannot be there. So with this, we will conclude this session. Shri Guru Charanat Bandvam Bandeham Matita Dussahadvandvam Bhrantigrahopashantim Yasya Bhajitam Atanute Shri Harim Paramanandam Upadeshtaramishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namamyaham Shastram Sharirami Mamsa Devastu Parameshwaraha Acharya Shankara Acharya Santume Janma Janmani.